It's on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. We've been there from the start. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Proud fan since 1977.
Welcome to Toronto. It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. The final game of this three-game series against the Boston Red Sox. The Blue Jays find themselves just a game behind Boston in second place in the American League East. John Farrell's Boston Red Sox won a laugher on Friday behind that man right there, Rick Porcello, who won his 20th game. 13-3 for Boston on Friday. 3-2 Blue Jays yesterday. Now the rubber game here this afternoon. Here's the lineup for John Farrell's Boston Red Sox. Dustin Pedroia. Blue Jays haven't been able to get him out. Actually, they haven't gotten him out since 2014. This year, he's hitting .339 against the Blue Jays. 20 for 59 with 7 doubles. And David Ortiz, his numbers against Aaron Sanchez, the Blue Jays starter, he's 4 for 8, and he has always hit well in this ballpark. This will be his final regular season game here at Rogers Center.
What a career it has been for David Ortiz, and what a day it is for Aaron Sanchez. He gets the call this afternoon to try and win the series for the Blue Jays. 27th start of the season for Aaron. Look at those sparkling numbers. 13-2 with a .292 earned run average. He's up to 169 in a third innings pitched. He has just been everything and more that the Blue Jays were hoping for his career against the Boston Red Sox. He's 3-1 with a .270 earned run average. Very respectable numbers for Sanchez against such a great hitting team. It's a big assignment for Aaron. You know he's ready for it.
Defensively, let's take a look at the Blue Jays, the way they set up. Michael Saunders is in left field. Kevin Pillar starting for the 123rd time in center. Bautista's in right. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Ryan Goins, and Edwin Encarnación on the infield. Russell Martin, a veteran, doing the catching today for Aaron Sanchez.
Yeah, Ryan Goins will make his 32nd start of the season at second base, but his first start at second since May the 22nd back in Minnesota. He's only made 3 errors at second base. With a sinker ball pitcher like Aaron Sanchez, you get a lot of ground ball outs. You need some good defense. Ryan Goins, one of the best.
Dustin Pedroia is in the box. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. An absolutely gorgeous fall-like day. It is 20 degrees at the start of play. Dustin Pedroia batting .328 for the season. That swing back fastball, strike 2.
And I thought Aaron pitched a heck of a ball game. 7 innings. He only gave up 3 earned runs against the Yankees in his last start. But I don't recall the great movement that we saw on that last pitch against the Yankees. If he has that thing working today where it's moving that much and he can hit the outside corner against the righties, he's going to have a good afternoon.
This is the 38th career start for Aaron Sanchez, his 27th of the season. Overcooked that curveball, threw it too hard and buried it in the dirt. It's 2-2.
There are the numbers in his last start. He only gave up 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and 7 innings. I don't remember seeing the great movement, and I mean really big movement like we saw on strike 2 to Pedroia.
No chance. Overmatched. Pedroia strikes out, 1 away.
Well, when you throw as hard as Aaron Sanchez does and you get the movement that he does on his fastball, then you can put it on the outside corner to a right-handed batter. You're going to get these types of swings from hot hitters. Dustin Pedroia just a little bit late on that fastball. It made him look silly. Wow. That was an explosive fastball.
Xander Bogaerts has slipped under 300. He's batting .298. Bogaerts 2 for 16 against Aaron Sanchez. Takes the first pitch down and away for a ball. I think the biggest thing Aaron has to guard against is too much adrenaline, being overhyped, overexcited for this game. Just has to realize, pitch the way he has been all season. It's a high fly ball. Bautista in right, backing up. Makes the catch. Well, David Ortiz will step to the batter's box. This will be his final regular season game of his career, and what a run he has had here at Rogers Center.
Look at these numbers for Ortiz here as a visiting player at Rogers Center. He's hit the most home runs, he's had the most RBIs, most total bases, most extra base hits. 75 extra base hits as a visiting player in this ballpark. Tell you what, he's a Hall of Famer. It's going to be there 5 years from now. He's going to retire at the end of the season. He's a Hall of Famer, and the Blue Jays, I think, are really happy that this is his last game here.
I think they're thrilled. He has been such a great hitter in this ballpark. Sanchez delivers the first pitch past him. Ortiz, for his career, is a .286 hitter. And he's having quite a final season. Batting .316 with 45 doubles, 31 homers, and 107 driven in.
Only 3 players in Major League history have driven in 100 runs in their final season. Joe Jackson, Happy Felsch, and Albert Bell, the only 3. David Ortiz, if he does retire, and everybody says he is, will become the 4th.
Two and one. Sanchez has fallen behind Ortiz. And the numbers for the season, a .308 average. Late on that fastball. That's into the seats, out of play. There is certainly a buzz in the air early on here. And the Blue Jays got hammered on Friday night, won a 3-2 thriller yesterday. Full count. Mookie Betts is on deck. This is a very deep and potent lineup.
They can throw 4 top hitters at you in the first inning if he loses Ortiz.
Check swing, no swing, according to the third base umpire James Hoy. A 2-out walk. Well, there's a lot going on in the American League East. The Blue Jays have slipped to a game behind Boston. Boston with 79 wins, and there's Baltimore. They pounded the Tigers yesterday afternoon, hit 4 home runs in that game. The Yankees, they continue to roll. They've won 7 straight. 3 games separate the top 4 teams in the AL East.
Wow, this is going to be fun the last 3 weeks of the season. Blue Jays don't have to look at the scoreboard. All they have to do is worry about themselves.
Mookie Betts takes the ball inside. Betts is certainly an MVP candidate when you look at those numbers. .315, 30 homers, and 101 driven in.
Check out that on-base percentage. Remember, he spent about 70% of the season hitting leadoff for the Red Sox. They have now moved him down into the number 4 spot to get a little bit more production, to protect Ortiz just a little bit more. But you've got a number 4 guy with 100 RBIs with an on-base percentage of .356.
Leads the league in total bases with .325. Leads the league in multiple hit games. 59 multi-hit games. He's ahead of Altuve in that department. He's one of 4 hitters in the American League that has driven in over 100 runs. Encarnación leads it. Then Pujols, Ortiz, and Betts. Two and one. Sanchez has come out of his delivery a bit. He walked Ortiz with 2 outs, and now he falls behind Mookie Betts.
I think he got the 2 outs, first 2 outs, very quickly, and he will do what he's doing right there from time to time. He will step back off the mound and just regroup a little bit. But he got the first 2 batters very quickly, and it seemed like he started to rush to get that 3rd out. This is where you just have to slow things down and make a good pitch.
He gets the foul tip. Now it's a full count with 2 outs.
You know, and that is Aaron's way. He says when things start to speed up just a little bit, I'll step off the mound, I'll take a deep breath, I'll just kind of gather my thoughts just a little bit, very quickly behind the mound, and get back into the count.
Ortiz is off on the pitch. The ball is driven into center. Pilar comes in, and it's over his head. Ortiz is headed for third. He's getting the wave. They got a shot at him at home. Here's the throw from Goins. It's offline. Ortiz scores from first. Kevin Pilar took a step in, and that ball sailed right over his head all the way to the wall in center.
Boy, did it ever. He read off the bat line drive single, but that thing just took off. We were standing down on the field during batting practice today, and the wind was like a jet stream to center field. Watch Pilar out in center field. Once this ball is hit, he takes 2 or 3 steps in and then realizes this thing is taken off on him. It's over his head, and you're right. They had a shot at Ortiz at the plate, but the throw is up the line. If that's on line, he is out at the plate, but it's offline, and the Red Sox strike first.
Kevin Pilar just took that fatal step in, and that allows Ortiz to motor around the bases and score from first. So the Red Sox draw first blood here on Sunday afternoon. Hanley Ramirez fouls it back. The double, 39th double of the season for Mookie Betts.
You mentioned he leads the league in total bases. You can see why. He's got some pop in that bat. That ball just took off on Pilar.
39 doubles ties him with Manny Machado for second in the American League behind David Ortiz. Ortiz with 45. Missed his spot, but got a strike. Trying to come inside and threw it all the way across the plate.
That shows that dramatic movement again on that fastball. Even though Russell had to reach for it, that caught plenty of the plate.
Ramirez strikes out. Sanchez gives up a 2-out walk to Ortiz, and Mookie Betts cashes him in with a double. Boston leads it early. Clay Buchholz to the mound. Three-game series, and John Gibbons Ball Club knows the importance of this game. They can tie the Red Sox for the American League East lead with a win here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. 78-63 on the season. Devin Travis is the DH this afternoon. He's been swinging a hot bat. He's had back-to-back 3-hit games, part of a 7-game hit streak, which he's hitting nearly 500 during that streak. And right down at the bottom of the order, Ryan Goins gets the nod today at second base. First start since May at second because he's got good numbers against Clay Buchholz, a Red Sox starter. He's 9 for 23, a .392 average.
It's going to be tough against this guy because Buchholz has had great numbers against the Blue Jays in his career. He comes out of the bullpen. He's made 16 relief appearances, 17 starts. This is start number 18. He's 6-10 with an ERA of about 5, but for some reason he turns it on when he faces the Blue Jays. He's 14-9 in his career versus Toronto. Blue Jays have only been able to hit .232 against Clay.
Nevin Travis takes the first pitch, strike. Nevin batting .305 at the start of play this afternoon. Hits this ball in the air to right. Mookie Betts has tremendous range and coverage in the outfield. One away. Take a look at the defense for Boston. They've committed 71 errors this season. Brock Holt starts in left field. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center and Mookie Betts in right. On the infield, Travis Shaw is back at third. Bogarts and Pedroia up the middle. Hanley Ramirez has played very well at first base this season. And Sandy Leon doing the catching for Clay Buchholz this afternoon.
Well, let's talk about Mookie Betts in the outfield. Remember, he was an infielder, former infielder, initially moved to center field. Now one of the better right fielders in all of baseball. He's made 1 error this season. He's also had 12 outfield assists. That's the second most outfield assists for an American League right fielder.
Josh Donaldson hits it a mile high behind shortstop. Xander Bogaerts waits for it, and Donaldson is retired. 2 quick outs here for Buchholz. Donaldson a little bit of a funk here of late, and he is now 0 for 21.
There's no doubt he's going to come out of it. Right now he's hitting in some bad luck. He's hit some line drives. He hasn't found any hole. He's popped up a lot of pitches. They have used that fastball inside against him lately.
Edwin Encarnación with 2 outs. The Red Sox scored their run after 2 were out. David Ortiz drew a 2-out walk, and Mookie Betts cashed him in with a double. Oh, 2. We mentioned Buchholz has pitched well against the Blue Jays. 14 wins in his career. 11 of those wins have come right here at Rogers Center. He has an impressive 11-3 record with a .218 earned run average pitching here at the home of the Blue Jays.
He said, I love this mound. I love the feel on it. I feel like I'm standing right on top of the hitters, and he's had some of his best games in his career right in this ballpark.
He's thrown 103 innings here at Rogers Center, the most innings he's pitched anywhere outside of Fenway Park.
He's only given up 77 hits in those 103 innings here.
Buchholz is 32 years old. For his career, he's 79-61. He has made 16 appearances pitching out of the bullpen for Boston. Made his last start on September 6th at San Diego. He won 5-1 over the Padres. With 6 2/3 in that game. Swinging that drive deep to left. Get up, ball, get up, and gone. Just like that, we're tied.
Leave it to the power of the Blue Jays to get him back into this one. Home run number 38 on the season for Encarnación. That's going to get the buzz going again in this stadium. 2-2 pitch out over the plate. Edwin hammers it to left field to tie it up.
Well, no doubt about it. We got a couple of heavyweights going at it here this afternoon. Clay Buchholz spins a breaking ball, and it sits out over the plate, and Edwin didn't miss it.
That looked like one of those little cutters that stayed out there and went right to the barrel. That's the 20th home run that Buchholz has given up this year, and the 38th for Edwin. Edwin says, you know what? The sun's not here. Get rid of that. I can't see. The clouds have come out. I got to be able to see this pitch. Here comes the cutter. And we know what happened. Launch time.
3-0 to Bautista.
That's interesting, isn't it?
A timely move, no doubt about it. Now he's laughing with it. Carrera.
He didn't know.
I couldn't see.
He didn't know what to do with him. Should I put it in my pocket? Should I stuff it in my shirt? Now I'll just fire it back to him.
Throw him on the ground.
Yeah.
3-0 to Bautista. Taking all the way. Jose has had more at-bats against Buchholz than any hitter. Coming into this game, 61 at-bats, 14 hits. Bautista thought that was ball 4, and he might have been right on the corner. Bautista has the second most hits against Clay Buchholz. He's got 14 hits. Adam Lind is the all-time leader, the former Blue Jay, has 17 career hits against Clay Buchholz. Russell Martin on deck. He's got the most home runs against Buchholz. He's hit 4. 3-2 to Bautista. Pops it up over the Blue Jays dugout. Cutter off the plate. The appeal down to first. No swing. The Blue Jays might have got a break there. So Bautista walks with 2 outs. Buchholz gives up a 2-out home run and now a 2-out walk.
Hanley Ramirez is talking to the crew chief. That's Jim Joyce right there saying that looked like a swing. If he hit it, it would have been a double. But Jose said, I checked my swing on that one.
So Russell Martin. Russell batting .242 for the season. We mentioned Russell has hit 4 home runs against Clay Buchholz. That's the most home runs by any one batter against Buchholz. He also has 159 career home runs. 17 this season with the Blue Jays. And Buchholz, after getting 2 quick outs, has run into a little bit of trouble, but that's the way it is pitching against these 2 lineups.
Both of these lineups are so deep, and what you have to do when you get 2 quick outs, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You don't want to get hurried up and then start missing your spots. Sharp little cutter right there. When you start hurrying, that's when you start walking, you start hanging the pitches. Blue Jays are going to work you over just like the Red Sox are going to work you over.
Inside, 3-1 to Martin. Troy Tulowitzki waiting on deck.
This is where you don't want to overswing right here. Clay Buchholz has a lot of different ways he can get you out. He can cut it, he can sink it, he can throw a curveball. See it and just make a good, firm swing on this ball.
Takes a strike. Now it's a full count. So Hanley Ramirez, the first baseman, looks like he's going to hold Bautista on. Kind of an unusual situation here with Bautista running with 2 outs. They don't want him to get a huge lead. Martin reaches for it and hits it into the seats down the right side. The difference, the Blue Jays played behind Ortiz on a 3-2 count, and he came all the way in to score when that ball sailed over Pilar's head in center.
He might play behind him if it's a left-handed hitter. You might do that just to give yourself a little bit more ground, but with the right-handed hitter at the plate, the Red Sox are choosing to hold the runner on and just cut down that lead and that secondary lead from Jose at first.
Russell called for the swing. Marvin Hudson called him out on a swing. That'll end the inning. Buchholz strikes out Martin, and Martin says, why didn't you ask for help? He asked for help on Bautista, but the Blue Jays have tied it up. Edwin Encarnación on a choo-choo pitch drills it high and deep to left center. His 38th homer. It's a 1-1 game.
Was R.A. Dickey's scheduled start. The manager John Gibbons electing to move Sanchez up in order to face the division leaders on regular rest. And what a vote of confidence for the young right-hander. Pitching coach Pete Walker telling me that Sanchez was anxious to get into this ball game. He wants to pitch in these big spots. Sanchez has shown that he can handle the situations that have been thrown at him time and time again. Walker continued to say that the coaching staff is confident in Sanchez, and that is why he's out there this afternoon. Now, Sanchez did not factor into the decision at Yankee Stadium last time out, but he has managed a quality start in 10 of his last 13 outings. Buck.
Thank you, Hazel. Aaron's making his first start here at Rogers Center since August 13th. Of course, he had his season interrupted with that stint down in Dunedin. Made 2 starts after that, both on the road. And he has certainly been impressive all season long for his consistency. He is 5-1 here at home, 8-1 on the road. Travis Shaw takes the first pitch upstairs for a ball.
You were talking earlier about Sanchez, and the problem you want to look out for is him getting a little bit too hyped. Last year, maybe you would have thought that, but he's so mature and he understands where he is and who he is. I don't think that's going to happen this afternoon. I think he's just going to be himself and go out there and pitch as well as he can against the Red Sox.
3-0. There's a strike to Shaw. We saw Brock Holt, the left fielder, waiting on deck. Pete Walker is really pleased with the development of this entire pitching staff. When you think about it, Sanchez had to battle for this spot in the rotation. Hot shot, glove by Goins. That's why he's in there. He can really pick it. He takes a hit away from Travis Shaw.
It's been a while since he started over there at second base. You got to go all the way back towards the end of May. He's been getting a lot of time at shortstop. But we saw this time and time again last year. This looked like a base hit by Shaw. Ryan Goins gets a great first step. And look how he stays down on that ball. Looks it right into his glove. He's got soft hands, quick first movement, and takes a hit away from Shaw. What a play.
Sanchez delivers a first pitch strike to Brock Holt.
How about making those types of plays defensively? What it does for your pitcher, just gives him a lot of confidence to attack the strike zone.
And Goins can play short, third, second. But you're right, he hasn't played second base since late May. And a nice play to take a hit away from Shaw. There's a breaking ball for strike 2. Threw that one well in front of home plate. And
that's okay, says Russell. He said, you know, I wanted it down there. Problem is, you don't get a lot of Red Sox swinging at balls in the dirt. I mean, you got to get it close. And with his curveball, throw a good one and you'll get an out.
Full count now to Brock Holt with 1 out. Sandy Leon, the catcher, is a switch hitter. Will bat next. Hope takes ball 4, second walk issued by Sanchez. Aaron Sanchez in his first full season as a starter. I mentioned this is his 27th start of the regular season. When you look at the American League ERA leaders, young Michael Fulmer in his rookie season has had a great season at 276. Aaron Sanchez is second.
2 very good young right-handers. Fulmer now qualifies. He's got enough innings to qualify. He's overtaken Aaron Sanchez. Aaron pitches in the American League East, so he faces these tough lineups, and have an ERA under 3. That's pretty impressive.
Sandy Leon lays off that first pitch, and this is the difference between Friday's game and Jay Happ yesterday. Happ pitched ahead all afternoon, and because of that he was able to really shut down the Boston offense. He pitched into the 7th on just 4 hits, allowed 2 runs.
What he did is he threw his fastball right down the middle almost consistently to that first batter and first pitch of every at bat, and jumped ahead, and the next thing you knew, you got the Red Sox swinging. Right now they're in take mode.
Jay won his 18th game yesterday.
Aaron has thrown 35 pitches, 19 of them out of the strike zone so far. Jay was sensational yesterday.
2-0 to Leon. Gets away from Martin. He can't locate it, and Brock will take advantage of that. Should be a pass ball charge to the catcher, and Martin has said it time and time again. Sanchez has so much dramatic movement. Let's take a look at this last pitch.
Fastball.
Oh, it's in the dirt.
It hits the dirt.
It is a wild pitch.
Tough to pick that one up there. You got to play solid defense against good teams, or they're going to take advantage of it, and there's a chance. Especially the way Aaron throws that fastball. He gets a lot of ground ball outs. Take him out of the double play.
There goes Brock for third. The throw from Martin is in time, but Donaldson dropped the baseball. James Hoy called Holt out. Donaldson tagged him, but then the impact of the sliding base runner jarred the ball out of Donaldson's glove.
Boy, that would have changed the complexion of the whole inning. This happened in yesterday's game where there was a pickoff at third base and they had him, but the ball popped out of his glove on that play. Here it does again. For some reason, Holt takes off 3-0. A strike by Martin, and then as Josh tries to throw him up the glove, the ball pops out. And he's called safe. He is called out initially. As you see him, he never gets to the bag. Tags him, and watch when he brings the glove up. The ball pops out.
So a wild pitch, and now Donaldson losing the grip on that baseball allows Brock to steal third when the umpire had called him out. That would have been the second out of the inning. So now Leon's at first with the walk. Jackie Bradley Jr., number 9 hitter. So Sanchez has walked 3.
Well, he's got to make the adjustment right here. He's yanking everything. That is either he's opening up too quickly and the arm is just firing through too quick. Maybe slow down. Maybe throw a couple more curveballs. That'll help you stay over the ball.
There's a strike. It's now 1-1. Jackie Bradley Jr. runs well, but he hit into a double play on Friday night, batting against Aaron Loup. That was in the 3rd inning to end that inning. Sanchez is a ground ball thrower. That hit him. Foul tip. Check swing, foul tip. Now it's 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like it might have hit him, but that ball was fouled by Jackie Bradley. You got to put him away right here.
First and third. It's a 1-1 game. Pretty good pitch. They didn't get the call. Russell Martin always holds that ball for the umpire to get a good look at it when he thinks it's a strike.
Boy, they had him set up for that, didn't they? That fastball really surprised the batter.
Fly ball deep to left field. Saunders is on the run. This ball is gone. Jackie Bradley Jr., his 24th home run of the season, is a 3-run homer.
You know, you were talking about the walks, and now Aaron has walked 3 batters, and all 3 of them have scored. Ortiz, with 2 outs in the 1st inning, scored on the double by Mookie Betts. You walk Holt, Leon, and then Jackie Bradley. And this is why the Red Sox are so tough. He's hitting 9th today. That's his 83rd RBI and 24th home run out of the number 9 spot. High fastball. They wanted to go back up there, but this one was out over the plate. And with 1 swing, gives the Red Sox a 3-run lead.
Pedroia takes a first pitch strike. Still just 1 out. Back to the top of the order. Pedroia lines out to Goins. Goins has made 2 good plays this inning.
You know, you've got that great movement on the fastball like Aaron has. But to a lefty, if you can't get it in, if it starts leaking out, it goes right to the barrel. And that ball was up, but not as high as they wanted. They wanted that ball up just a little bit more so he would swing through it or pop it up.
2 outs now for Xander Bogaerts. Oh, and 2. These 2 teams, when they have gotten together, played games, there are always a lot of runs scored. Since 2014, the Blue Jays and Red Sox have averaged over 10 runs a game. This might be one of those situations where they go back and forth all afternoon.
Together, 10 runs a game in the last 3 seasons. Both of these teams. It's one of the highest combined runs in baseball.
Only the Diamondbacks and Rockies score more runs when they play. And they both play in very hitter-friendly ballparks. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Boston has taken a 4-1 lead. Curveball pulled foul. Ground ball right to Tulowitzki. That'll end the inning, but Boston takes advantage of a couple of walks, and Jackie Bradley Jr. goes the opposite way. His 24th home run's a 3-run shot. Boston takes a 4-1 lead.
travel rewards program? Well, WestJet will match your status and treat you like gold. Learn more at westjet.com/getgold. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. We move to the bottom of the second. It'll be Tulowitzki, Saunders, and Pilar for the Blue Jays. This has been a must-see weekend for a lot of Blue Jay fans. They saw the Red Sox series here toward the end of the season, and they penciled it in. You gotta be here. Curveball for a strike.
Blue Jays got to get right back on it right here. Put the pressure on Clay Buchholz. Make him throw a lot of pitches. Get some base runners on there and get back into this ball game. Maybe get in that bullpen.
Buchholz has pitched very well in his last 12 outings. Only 4 of those 12s have been starts. That goes back to the 27th of July. He's allowed only 1 run in 6+ innings in each of his last 3 starts. His last start, as we mentioned, against the Padres in San Diego.
And the reason why he was moved into the bullpen and why he is now back into the starting rotation, Stephen Wright is on the disabled list, the knuckleball all-star. The ERA for Buchholz since the all-star break has been better. That coincides with around the time that he was moved into the bullpen.
Right, the knuckleballer, as Pat mentioned, 13-6 with a very good earned run average. Wright made 24 starts. He's currently dealing with a bad shoulder, and it's really unfortunate, but he injured that shoulder running the bases and diving back into a base.
Was he a pinch runner?
Yep.
They brought him in as pinch runner.
Interleague play. They were short of players. They needed a pinch runner, and they told him, just go run around the bases. Don't do anything crazy. And he dove back into a bag and hurt his shoulder. Tulo rips it to left field. A 2-strike base hit to start the inning. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Sessa has not lost a start. He's 3-0 since he's moved into the rotation for the Yankees. Matt Andriese is the pitcher for Tampa Bay. He's 0-5 since he's taken a spot in their rotation. Michael Saunders takes a first pitch strike. Saunders hitting in the 7th spot this afternoon. John Gibbons has really been fluid with his lineup lately, making a lot of adjustments. He's dropped Bautista in the cleanup spot.
And it's September, so he's got some options. He's got some extra bodies that he can work with. You got Saunders and Upton to play left field if there's a lefty or a righty. Talk about them moving around, and talking about moving around, the Red Sox are now moving around on defense. There's Travis Shaw. He was in at third base. He is now between first and second. They like to keep Pedroia and Bogarts, the double play combination, with 2 strikes in a shift situation. They like to keep them in the middle of the diamond and let them handle the ball on any ground ball.
0-2 to Saunders. Inside. Fly ball hit to center. Jackie Bradley Jr. is there, 1 away.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Rogers 4K TV. Get closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Full house here at Rogers Center. And their 34th sellout of the season yesterday afternoon. Almost 48,000 fans. Kevin Pilar. At first, Tulowitzki dives back in ahead of the throw. Buchholz jumps ahead of Pilar. Pilar 6 for 16 against Buchholz. He's had success against him. Kevin yesterday 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
His at bats are getting better if you watch him day in and day out. He's hit some balls to right field on this homestand already. He's also hit some balls hard to left center.
Kevin came off the DL August 23rd with that sprained thumb ligament.
Doesn't seem to be a problem when you talk to him and when you watch him play. Doesn't look like it's that big of a deal to him right now.
Line down the right side. That's going to drop foul. Toward the end of the bat. Yeah, Kevin's not going to tell you if it's bothering him or not. He's playing, and that's all that matters to him. Hey, I'm good enough to play. And we would never know if it was a factor.
He says he's only had to make one adjustment, and that is just to wrap his thumb that he bent back on that left just a little bit further down on his hand instead of right against his top hand. Moves it down just a little bit so when he swings and rolls that bat over, his top hand doesn't squeeze down on that left thumb.
Pilar strikes out. Second strikeout of the ball game for Clay Buchholz. Second out of the inning.
Not a bad idea with 2 strikes to go with your fastball. Clay Buchholz reaches back. That's a 4-seamer in a good spot. Hitters could look for off-speed pitch with 2 strikes. Sometimes you can cross them up and throw a 4-seamer like that.
Ryan Goins got the start at second base this afternoon, partly due to his success against Clay Buchholz. A .391 average against the Red Sox starter. He's 9 for 23 with a double, a triple, and 6 RBIs. For the season, batting under 200. Again, they check in on Tulowitzki. Tulo led it off with a single to left. And Saunders flied out, and Pilar struck out.
Tulo not really a threat to steal. He's only had 1 attempt all season long. Buchholz, though, just checking in on him.
Oh, and 2. Blue Jays trying to string something together against Clay Buchholz. Edwin Encarnación hit a 2-out home run in the first. That tied it at 1-1.
Well, both of these lineups are locked in this afternoon, aren't they? Making the pitchers work. Buchholz had a 22-pitch first inning.
Raise off that high pitch. Buchholz thought it was a good one.
Aaron had a 22-pitch first inning. I mean, that's a strategy, if you will, offensively, is get that starter out of there by elevating his pitch count. Make him throw strikes, and if he doesn't, he'll get to his 100 pitches, and then he'll be gone. Both of these teams really grinding it out here the first 2 innings.
2-2 to Goins with Tulowitzki at first. Goins strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Buchholz. 3 in the ball game. Will move to the 3rd. Boston with a 4-1 lead.
green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are guests of TD. And fans, you could win one of 3 Toronto Blue Jays VIP weekends in 2017. Contest details and rules available at www.bluejays.com/bearcontest.
Thank you, Hazel. You can see the fans are having a good time so far today. Another beautiful afternoon and certainly a hint of fall in the air. It's cooled off to 20 degrees. A brilliant sunny day. David Ortiz walked with 2 outs in the first inning. Came around to score on the RBI double by Mookie Betts.
Boy, he means so much to this team. Look at those numbers in his final season. On base percentage of over 400. 30 and 100. Mark it down for David Ortiz.
Ortiz is playing in his 14th season with the Red Sox. He has driven in 100 in his last 4 seasons. He dealt with some injuries in 12 and 11. High fly ball deep to center field. Pilar at the wall. He's got room. Makes the catch right up against the wall. The wind has been a challenge for the outfielders early in this ballgame. That time Pilar did a good job of just going to the wall.
You know what he did? He didn't take his eye off that ball. He went back there and said, I'm going to catch it until that ball gets out of here. If it doesn't, I'm going to make this catch. He went back. You can see the ball slicing away. He had to readjust his route, and then he sticks his arm up there to find out where that fence is. See, all the while he's keeping his eye on that baseball and times his lead perfectly to take a hit away from David Ortiz.
You can see how the sun was reflecting on his sunglasses. He was looking up into that sun. He did a great job to leave his feet and pull it down just before it hit the wall in center. This is Mookie Betts. He hit one over Pilar's head in the first inning and picked up the RBI. Gave the Boston Red Sox a 1-0 lead.
RBI number 102. Boy, he has made a seamless transition into the outfield, hasn't he? Remember when he came up a few years ago? He was a second baseman.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to be a long-term second baseman with Pedroia stationed at second, so they had to find a spot for him to play.
They initially put him out in center field, and it's not like that didn't work out, but they had Jackie Bradley. And when you play in Fenway Park, it's almost better to have a superior defensive right fielder because there's so much room out there. It's almost like you have to have 2 center fielders. Jackie Bradley's very good in center field. Mookie Betts is exceptional in right field, especially in Fenway Park.
So Mookie Betts walks. That's 4 walks issued by Sanchez in the ball game. One out. Hanley Ramirez batting in the 5th spot. Struck out to end the first inning. Sanchez season high in walks is 5. He walked 5 in San Francisco against the Giants back on the 9th of May. This is the 3rd time he's walked 4 in a start.
His first time was against the Boston Red Sox back in April. Through 7 innings, he only gave up 2 hits in a run, but he also had 4 walks. This is a Red Sox team. We've said it before. We've said already today. They will not chase. So your game plan should be a lot like Jay Happ's yesterday. Just be aggressive.
2-0. Here comes Tulowitzki. Now Martin's going to join him. They're going to have a quick little meeting on the mound. By all reports, it was Tulowitzki that made the gesture to have a players only team meeting. We haven't confirmed that one way or another, but it seems as though Tula was the guy that said, hey, let's talk about this pennant race. I want to go to the World Series. He went early as a youngster in Colorado, and he understands that this is a golden opportunity for this Blue Jays team to get to the postseason once again.
He's become more of a leader, hasn't he, this year? After being traded over from Colorado, you go to a new team, you're not going to go up there and just start trying to take over. But this year, he's established himself as a leader.
Ground ball. Donaldson backhands it. He go to second. They get Mookie Betts. What a play by Donaldson. They get the lead runner. Betts can run, and Donaldson made a terrific play and a strong throw to Goins for the force out.
And accurate. I didn't think they had any chance of getting Mookie Betts because he runs so well, but Josh makes up his mind early. He's going to try and get that lead runner. He makes an accurate throw to Goins, and then Goins tries to finish it off. But Ramirez runs too well. That's a heck of a play by Josh Donaldson.
His body was going away from second, threw back across his body and got a lot on the throw. So 2 outs now for Travis Shaw. Be careful on this first pitch. First pitch swinging, hits a fly ball. Saunders in left field, calls for it and makes the catch. Red Sox get another walk, but they strand a base runner. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Travis Donaldson and Encarnación will bat when we come back.
Center. The Blue Jays salute the Canadian Armed Forces, and today they salute Master Seaman Dario Garcia. He's deployed on international operations in response to Hurricane Katrina, to the Mediterranean for anti-terrorism, to Somalia for anti-piracy, and to Haiti to assist in earthquake efforts. We salute Master Seaman Dario Garcia. Today's Sunday salute. Buck.
Thank you, Harry's Hazel, and congratulations to Seaman Garcia. Sunday salute, always a tradition here at home games. Devin Travis goes after the first pitch and breaks his bat, and Hanley Ramirez, battling the sun, makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out.
No sunglasses for Hanley. He had to battle that the old-fashioned way. Put the bare hand up there to try and block off the sun. And he makes a nice play. Watch this ball rattle around in his glove just a little bit before he squeezes it right in the snow cone for the first out.
Brilliant sun today on this gorgeous afternoon, and it's curious that Ramirez chooses not to wear these sunglasses. We've seen Pilar catch a ball up against the wall, man, aided by sunglasses for sure. Josh Donaldson popped out to the shortstop. Pat, we've talked about Buchholz and his success here at Rogers Center. How much of that success has to do with his comfort level? You mentioned how much he likes to pitch on this mound.
Yeah, he says he feels great in this ballpark. There's just something about it. And you've been in stadiums before where you walk in there and you feel great at the plate or behind the dish, wherever you play. He says he just likes the feel of the mound. He says it feels high. I think that has something to do with where he pitches at home. Because I've had pitchers tell me, visiting pitchers, Guys on the Blue Jays, they don't like the mound at Fenway Park. They feel like it's just a little bump. It's so small. Here, you got that nice high mound. He says, I love the slope on it. I love the feel of the clay underneath my legs.
Little cutter off the plate, and he checked in time, according to the crew chief, Jim Joyce, down at first. 3-1.
And that's saying something, pitching against these Blue Jay teams. They've had some good offenses here over the years. But he has pitched some of his best games right here at Rogers Center.
Right on the outside corner now. It's a full count. Edwin Encarnación homered in the first inning.
You can see Buchholz, he's going out of the stretch position. Picked that up when he was a reliever coming out of the bullpen. Just pitch out of the stretch constantly, even with nobody on base.
Ball four. Donaldson takes the walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Chris Tillman returns to the rotation for the Orioles. He has not pitched since August 20th. He was dealing with bursitis in his right shoulder. It's quite a cast of starting pitchers today working in the American League. Verlander and Tillman in that game in Detroit. Broken bat off the glove of Pedroia. Donaldson will get to second. Pedroia dove. He laid out, got a piece of it, but it's off his glove for a base hit. Donaldson moves to second.
Boy, that was oh so close to becoming a great play by Pedroia. Looked like another cutter from Clay Buchholz. His cutter's been so good. Edwin right off the end of the bat, and watch that thing head out towards the infield along with the baseball. And Ryan Butterfield was saying that they don't like to shift against guys on the Blue Jays too much because they're liable to go the other way, and then you've got another home run hitter coming up to the plate. That time right off the glove of Pedroia sets up the tying run at the plate.
That's a great approach, and one we don't hear very often from opposing teams. But Ryan Butterfield said, you know what, if you shift and open up a hole, guy gets a base hit, then you got a big monster home run hitter coming up next. And here he is, a two-time home run champ. Bautista walked in the first.
He's reached Buchholz one time in his career for a home run. Looking for something that he could pull.
Off the plate. We mentioned earlier Bautista has more at-bats against Clay Buchholz than any hitter. Came into this game with 61 career at-bats against the righty. Bautista has been a clutch hitter, over 300. He won't chase. Russell Martin batting in the fifth spot is on deck. One out. Donaldson walked. Encarnación had a single off Pedroia's glove. Briano, mighty cut, fouled straight back.
John Gibbons says he will give my veterans the green light. He says they're experienced enough, they're disciplined enough, they know that if it's a strike, it can hurt you. But if it's off the plate, they're disciplined enough to let it go. Jose had a mighty cut right there.
Buchholz wasn't really sure about this pitch, so he spins around to chase Donaldson back. He had no intent of making a throw to second. Just a little opportunity to reset. Sandy Leon doing the catching this afternoon. Bautista with a 3-1 count. These are big at bats. You want to make sure you're on the same page.
For everybody. You can keyhole him right here. Look for one pitch in one spot.
Ball 4, that'll load the bases. So Buchholz has walked 3. Sanchez has walked 4. Just reflective of how potent these lineups are.
Yeah, and they're trying to be very careful with all of these lineups. And now this long extended inning for Clay Buchholz has brought the pitching coach Carl Willis out. Carl had to speed it up just a little bit. He started walking out there and then realized that he only has 30 seconds. It's down to 9 right now, so he's got to deliver that message very quickly.
That was a good catch, and oftentimes we forget about it, but pitching coaches, when they go to the mound, they're under the clock. A 30-second visit. He was strolling out to the mound trying to gather his thoughts.
Yeah, and there was about 12 seconds by the time he got out there, so they gave him a little bit of extra time, and it's a tough situation.
Josh Donaldson walked with 1 out. He's at third. Encarnación singled. He's at second, and Bautista has walked. 2 walks in the inning. Just 1 out for Russell Martin. Martin struck out on a check swing, strike 3 in the first.
He's so good at making that pitcher come to him. And that's what you have to think. Yeah, hit it up here, Russell. I'll catch it with my shirt. Make him come to you. The pressure is on the pitcher to throw you a strike.
Wouldn't chase. Russell Martin has hit 4 home runs off of Clay Buchholz. He also has 4 career grand slams.
Do they give him the green light here?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Martin is so good. He's already hit 1 3-0 home run this year. He's so good at making that pitcher come to him.
Bases loaded walk. Here comes Donaldson. Martin picks up the RBI, his 65th. Walks in the inning issued by Buchholz, 4 in the ball game. And Troy Tulowitzki batting with just 1 out.
And normally you'd say after all the walks that we have seen right here is Buchholz, let's go with this one. Upset with himself there. Normally you'd say, hey, take a strike. No way. Not the way Troy Tulowitzki has been swinging.
Swinging and drive deep to left. This is a grand slam homer. No waiting around for anything.
No, sir, not the way he's been swinging. sent this crowd into a frenzy, hasn't he?
6-4 Blue Jays. We are in the third inning. The teams have combined to score 10 runs. Strap yourself in, folks.
And the crowd is into it. 3 innings in, and the Blue Jays very patient. Donaldson, Bautista, and Martin very patient, and then one swing. You got to let him swing, and you knew he was going to swing. High fastball. See you later. Home run number 23.
High fly ball into right. Betts battling the sun. Jackie Bradley calls him off. He had a better angle. Good communication by Bradley. Let's go back and take a look at the Tulowitzki swing.
Well, he's been doing that for about a month and a half now, being very aggressive. And why wait around when you're swinging the bat? You got ducks on the pond out there, RBIs to knock in, and Tulo doesn't waste any time. And no doubter over the bullpen in left field. Everybody can trot around the bases. 4 big runs for the Blue Jays. They've now had a 5-run third inning to pull ahead.
Kevin Pillar swings at the first pitch. Aaron Sanchez now has been given some support. Tulowitzki's grand slam is the 3rd grand slam the Blue Jays have hit this season. Josh Donaldson has the other 2. Kevin Pillar is the 8th man to bat this inning. Devin Travis popped out to start the inning, and then Donaldson walked, and the Blue Jays put together a 5-run inning.
On the first pitch, he popped out. And then Buchholz couldn't find the plate.
Pillar hits it on the ground. Pedroia waits for it quickly to first, and that's the inning. But the Blue Jays scored 5 runs, capped off by the Troy Tulowitzki grand slam. 6-4 Blue Jays, and here comes the Ultimate Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the ultimate hard-hitting and tough-on-grime cleaning products. He's 2 for 2 already this afternoon, and he was responsible for having a players meeting, and the crowd anticipating something special as he goes deep, the bases loaded. His 3rd career grand slam home run, capping off a 5-run inning. The Blue Jays players in the dugout. All of a sudden, life is back, and Tulowitzki's responsible.
4-1, and everybody was sitting on their hands just waiting for something to happen. Well, Tulo made it happen with one swing of the bat, puts the Blue Jays in the lead. Now it's up to Aaron Sanchez to slam shut right here.
Breaking ball, nice play by Encarnación. He waves off Sanchez. Everybody's energized.
We have seen some great defense already this afternoon by the Blue Jays. Ryan Goins has made a couple of nice plays. Kevin Pillar took a base hit away from Ortiz last inning, and now Edwin's going to lay out. Take away a hit from Brock Holtz. Ball down the line. Look at Edwin. Gobble it up. Say, I got it myself. Back off. Nice.
One away. Shutdown innings in this series going to be imperative. Your team scores and gives you the lead. You got to put up a 0. Sandy Leon, the catcher, walked and scored in the second. Two and one now to the number 8 hitter.
It looked like he tried to throw a changeup right there. He has not been able to throw that for a strike yet today. His curveball's come and gone, but his fastball's explosive.
3-1 now. Jackie Bradley Jr. hit a 3-run home run in the second. He'll bat next. Pulled foul. Well, there is a buzz still going around this stadium, and you can hear it. Troy Tulowitzki hitting a grand slam home run to cap off a 5-run third inning for the Blue Jays. Aaron Sanchez has been given the lead 6-4. Driven to center. Pillar back on the track, makes the catch.
Save during the plumbing, heating, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
That inning really kind of deflated the Red Sox a bit, but we have seen these two teams go toe-to-toe all season long, so I think both clubs are aware no lead is safe.
Yeah, and there's way too far to go in this game. It's only the 4th inning.
Jackie Bradley Jr. rips a single into center, his second hit of the afternoon. He, like Tulowitzki, has homered and singled.
That was the last time that the Red Sox actually got a base hit, was that home run by Jackie Bradley. Another high fastball. Homered last time. This time right about belt high, sends it right back through the middle.
Pedroia goes after the first pitch and pulls it down into the left field corner. Jackie Bradley Jr. is being stopped at third as Dustin Pedroia continues his long hit streak against the Blue Jays, his 29 straight game hit streak against the Jays.
He wasn't waiting around. He's going to get a first pitch fastball. George Poulos is going to come out now with John Gibbons like there might be something wrong with Aaron Sanchez.
Well, obviously the training staff and the manager were aware of something before Aaron went out to this inning. And it looks like he's looking at his finger. And he has dealt with hot spots in the past. And now they're looking at his finger. Russell Martin chiming in too. No, he says, I'm okay. I've pitched with it all season long. It'll get flared up. It's the inside of the middle finger of his pitching hand, obviously. And again, Troy Tulowitzki, the voice of reason here.
Yeah, and hot spot is a good way to describe it. It's not really a blister, but that's where it starts, when that ball just keeps rubbing across the inside part of his finger. And I believe he was telling me when he throws his fastball, he could really feel it because he gets so much movement on it. Says it doesn't hurt when I throw my breaking ball.
There's a different part of your finger is in contact on the breaking ball. Xander Bogaerts is 0 for 2, 2 outs. No problem with that fastball.
And there's nothing wrong with the speed or anything like that. He just feels it. Just feels it when it rubs coming off of his finger.
Bradley at third, Pedroia at second, 2 outs. Ground ball up the middle. Bradley's in to score. Here comes Pedroia. Throw from Pilar is over the cutoff man, and Bogaerts goes into second, and it's tied at 6.
Told you it's way too early to start thinking about there's a long way to go with 2 quick outs. Once again, the Red Sox are going to strike. 2 outs and the number 9 hitter up. Single, double, single, and we're all tied. That's Joe Biagini and Brent Cecil getting ready for the Blue Jays.
Bogaerts picks up 2 RBIs with his single right back over the mound. Goes past Goins into center. Jackie Bradley Jr. scores. Right behind him, Dustin Pedroia, and then we're all tied up at 6-6. Bogaerts with 2 RBIs has now driven 83. Pedroia slides across, and that's going to be it for Aaron Sanchez. John Gibbons has made the call for the left-hander, Brett Cecil. So Sanchez gets the first 2 outs here in the 4th, and again a 2-out rally. Aaron is out of the ball game. David Ortiz is the scheduled batter. Brett Cecil into the ball game. It's 6-6. Cecil on to face David Ortiz with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Xander Bogaerts is at second for Cecil, his 45th appearance of the season.
29th since coming off the disabled list earlier this year. He's going to be facing David Ortiz. He has handled him in the past. He's faced him 30 times.
Ortiz trying to ambush that fastball, and he got the hook. Cecil worked 2/3 of an inning on Friday night. Had a couple of strikeouts. He allowed a leadoff single to Sandy Leon and struck out Bradley and Holt. Then he gave way to Scott Feldman, who closed out the inning. That was in the 6th. Fly ball to left. Saunders is there, and Cecil retires Ortiz to end the inning. But Xander Bogaerts has had a terrific season. His first hit of the afternoon drives home a pair. RBIs 82 and 83 for the young shortstop. 6-6.
And Team Europe keep up with the speed of Connor McDavid and Team North America. The World Cup of Hockey pre-tournament edition continues tonight live from Montreal. It's at 5:30 Eastern through 2:30 Pacific time right here on Sportsnet. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. We got quite a barn burner going on here. It's 6-6 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Both starters are out of the game. Ray Buchholz is out after 3 innings. He's charged with all 6 earned runs on 4 hits. Aaron Sanchez goes 3 2/3. He too gives up 6 earned runs on 5 hits.
John Farrell goes to his bullpen to start the 4th inning. This is Heath Embry. Enters his 3rd season with the Red Sox organization. He was part of that Jake Peavy trade back at the trade deadline in 2014 with the San Francisco Giants. Embry is a big guy, 6'4", 210, 27 years old. He's got a very good fastball that moves all over the place.
Embry was the closer in AAA Pawtucket. Brian Goins goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Goins has struck out against Buchholz. His only time up. Pulled foul. One and 2 now to Goins, leading off the bottom of the 4th. Devin Travis will bat next. He is the DH this afternoon.
What a game. What a first three and a half innings between these two teams. You know, it looks like neither one of them wants to give an inch, right? You're down by a couple of runs. No problem. You get the first 2 guys out. You come back with some clutch hitting. Red Sox have done that all season long, hitting with runners in scoring position. Blue Jays have come up with a couple of big hits already this afternoon.
Two and 2 now to Goins. Well, the Red Sox scored in the 1st inning with 2 outs. And they rallied for 2 runs in the 4th inning with 2 outs and nobody on.
That's why it's just so tough to pitch against both of these lineups. They're so deep. And both lineups know where they are. What, 20 games left to go in the season? And they're fighting tooth and nail. can't give up any at-bats.
No. And you know what? Everybody is locked in for sure, focused on each pitch, each at bat. The Red Sox defense kind of interesting, straight away on the infield and slightly opposite in the outfield.
That's where Ryan made his living in the second half of last season. He had close to 300 second half of the season last year by just hitting balls the other way, slapping them the other way, having some good at bats, picking up some big walks. Same approach right here. Set the table for the guys coming up.
Blue Jays have 4 hits. Encarnación has 2. Tulowitzki has 2. But they've been able to make the most out of the base on balls. But Buchholz walked 4.
Isn't it amazing the good teams, when you walk them, they figure out a way to score those runs? 3 of those walks have come around to score for the Blue Jays as Goins fouls this one off. Sandy Leon.
That got him squarely in the mask. It rocked his world. He was leaning to catch the pitch inside. It was deflected and smoked him right in the mask. Gives the thumbs up to the bench, saying he's okay. As soon as his eyes uncross, he'll be fine. No one's battling against Heath Hembree.
Boy, these are the type of at-bats that Ryan had last year. Long, extended. Make that guy work.
7 foul balls in this at bat. 2-2. Make it 8. Goins came up for the final time August 31st. He was on a little bit of a shuttle back and forth. He is up to stay now, obviously, and he gets to start at second base. He's already made a couple of fine defensive plays. Devin Travis 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Will bat next. He's the DH. Donaldson walked with 1 out to start that 5-run inning.
How to look for a fastball here. 3-2. He don't want to walk you. There's the movement that I talked about. His fastball moves all over the place. 1 out.
A lot has changed in 40 years, but one thing hasn't. Honda, proud fan since 1977, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Back to the top of the order. Devin Travis takes the first pitch strike from Hembree. Nevin's got a 7-game hit streak on the line. He's 0 for 2 so far. He's collected 14 hits in his previous 7 games. Travis had 3 hits on Friday night. He was 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs. 3 more hits yesterday, including a double, 3 for 4. 6 for 9 coming into this game this afternoon. He strikes out. 2 strikeouts for Hembree this inning.
That's an elevated 4-seamer right there at 96. The Red Sox, they've got some power now in the back end of that bullpen. with Kimbrel, Joe Kelly, Barnes, now Embry. Pretty good fastball right there.
Josh Donaldson started that 5-run third inning, as we mentioned, with a 1-out walk. .285, 34 homers and 92 driven in. Look at his on-base percentage, 400 for the season.
You do that, you're going to score a lot of runs. He scored after walking last at bat. Was that 111 now?
111. He was tied with Mike Trout at the start of play today. He's also walked 94 times. Second to Trout in that department. You got to admire Donaldson. He's going through a bit of a downtime right now, but he still has been selective and patient.
Yes.
He'll take his walks. He's not trying to expand just to get hits.
And you know what? He hasn't chased balls around the strike zone looking for those hits. He's hit some balls hard. Just hasn't had much to show for it.
He'll take another walk. Donaldson with 95 walks now. He gets aboard for Edwin Encarnación, who has gone 2 for 2.
First time up, Clay Buchholz delivers. That looks like a cutter. He's had some success with that cutter, but not that time. Hung it to Edwin. He's going around the bases with the Edwin for the 38th time this year. Got the Blue Jays their first run in the first inning.
There have been 9 walks in this game already, and we're in the bottom of the 4th. Pitchers are tiptoeing around the mound today.
Yes, that's what it is. They're being very careful because you got so many good hitters and so many great run producers and home run hitters in this lineup. They're trying not to make mistakes.
Embry jumps ahead of Encarnación with a strike. Donaldson, he has 6 stolen bases this season. He's not going to run right here.
And what happens when you try not to make a mistake?
You make mistakes every time.
You make mistakes.
Yeah, that's like the golfer that says, "Don't hit it in the water."
Where does it go? Swing.
Right in the water.
Kerplunk.
Edwin is 2 for 2. His average at 268. Inside, he's got a good bead on Heath Embry. Tracking that ball very well.
He's trying to get the ball away from Edwin, and each one of those balls out of the strike zone has been up and in. He's trying to go down and away. That is not a healthy way to pitch.
Swing and away, back Fuller. He's done it again. When the games get tough, the big boys step up.
Goodness gracious. I thought that ball was heading towards the 5th deck. He hit it so high and so hard. Told you, when you're missing your spots down and away and you go up and in, you're just waiting for something dramatic to happen. Tried to throw a slider down and away, and it stayed over the middle of the plate. Edwin took care of business.
His 25th multi-home run game. The beauty of the depth of this lineup, Donaldson has walked twice. He scored a pair of runs. What a swing.
Slider out over the plate. Sunglasses off. Home run number 2. This one looked like it was heading towards the 5th deck, right in the 3rd deck.
Bautista takes his strike. It's 2-1. Encarnación with 3 RBIs this afternoon has driven in 115. Bautista lines it to left. Brock Holt is right there. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays have taken an 8-6 lead. Edwin Encarnación 3 for 3 with a pair of homers. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Pick up your 2017 season ticket memberships. Season ticket member benefits include access to season ticket member exclusive events and enrollment in My Blue Jays member program. Visit bluejays.com/season tickets. And Buck, who wouldn't want to watch a ball game like this here at Rogers Center?
Hazel, they're going to be like this the rest of the season. The Blue Jays really swinging the bats today. They only have 5 hits. Edwin and Tulowitzki have all 5 hits, but they've scored 8 runs thanks to 2 home runs from Edwin Encarnación and a grand slam from Troy Tulowitzki.
Boston only has 5 hits and 6 runs, and now it's up to Joe Biagini. Joe comes in here to try and quiet the Red Sox hitters. Joe's been great. Opponents are hitting .203 with runners in scoring position against him. He has come in and he has given the Blue Jays innings, quality innings.
He has earned the right to pitch important innings, and when he broke camp, he was a Rule 5 player nobody knew much about. And we've learned a lot about Joe Biagini. He does not waver in tough situations. He pitches like a veteran. Mookie Betts off to a good start to his afternoon. RBI double in the first. He walks in the third. Fly ball to right. Bautista coming in. One away.
Joe last worked in that game, that last game in New York on Wednesday. 2 very good innings. He only gave up 1 hit to the Yankees and had 4 strikeouts. Giving the Blue Jays a chance to come back and win that game. They just couldn't score against the Yankees, but Joe did his job. They need him again today. A couple more innings.
He had an interesting situation in the 7th inning of that ball game. He walked Didi Gregorius to get to Mark Teixeira, and then he struck him out with a high fastball to end the inning. High deep drive to center, and that one's going to go into the West Jet flight deck off the bat of Hanley Ramirez. his 23rd home run. That's just the second home run that Biagini has given up this season.
He was the last reliever in all of baseball to give up a home run. That was on the last road trip. Hanley Ramirez didn't wait around. Home run number 23, RBI number 94 for Ramirez. And now it's a one-run game. That was a bomb. I wonder if those people thought when they came to the game that they would get a home run ball today.
Not very often you get them up there, but this was a no-doubter. That low fastball, and Ramirez knows it immediately. Looks into the dugout and says, let's go, boys. We're back within a run. 8-7 Blue Jays.
Hey, I don't know about you, partner, but I'm glad we have the last at bat today.
It seems like that type of game, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
15 runs on 11 hits. We mentioned that these two teams over the last 3 seasons have scored the most runs combined. They average 10.35 runs per game when they play each other. The only combination of teams that score more than the Blue Jays and the Red Sox are the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. They average over 11.5 runs a game.
And not that the 2 parks that the Blue Jays and Red Sox play in aren't hitters' parks, but those parks are crazy. Arizona and Colorado.
Travis Shaw takes a strike. It's 1-2 to the third baseman. This is where the game takes on the feeling of about a week's worth of games. Shaw pulls it foul.
You know what else becomes very important here? How the managers use their bullpen. Do you have lefties to get lefties out? How are we going to match up as we get closer towards the 9th inning? That's why I think it's imperative they've got to get 2 innings out of Joe Biagini today.
Yeah, Brett Cecil threw just 2 pitches, and he was able to retire David Ortiz, but then he's out of the ball game. And now here we are in the 5th with Biagini on. You figure 5th and 6th Biagini, 7th Benoit, Grilli, and then Osuna.
Yeah, if it works that way and it stays like this to score.
That's a perfect scenario. Now the curveball bounced in the dirt. It's a full count. David Ortiz is involved with a special game in what is his final regular season game here at Rogers Center. He scored the first run of this ball game after he drew a 2-out walk in the first. That would be interesting.
That'd be a lot of fun.
3-2. Cut on and missed. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Brad Miller's playing shortstop today. Kind of interesting. He has been playing first base, and Pat Duffy got hurt. He's been lost for the season, so
there you go.
They got to move Miller back to shortstop. Matt Andres, pitcher of record. He went 5 innings, allowed just 1 run on 6 hits. Chase Whitley is back, coming back from Tommy John. He is back pitching now.
Former Yankee.
Yep.
Pitching against his former team.
Strike 2 to Brock Holt. Joe Biagini has given up a home run here in the 5th. Hanley Ramirez's home run, his 23rd of this season. Trying to become the 3rd Red Sox player to drive in 100. He now has 94. No swing according to James Hoy at 3rd. Bo Schultz is the right-hander. Aaron Loup, the left-hander.
All hands on deck this afternoon, right? For everybody in both bullpens. Be ready.
Outside. Yeah, you almost feel like you have to take a poll. Anybody down here in the bullpen think you can get anybody out?
You better raise your hand.
There have been 9 walks in this game, and 7 have come in to score. The beauty of the American League East. They will keep the pressure on pitchers.
I saw what Baltimore did to Detroit last night. I mean, they hammered them. Hit a lot of home runs. They're up again today. We all know what the Yankees can do.
Brock Holt draws the walk. That's the 10th walk in this game.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SUHD TV.
Everybody would like to relax and enjoy this Sunday afternoon ball game, but I don't think we're there yet. It's 8-7 Blue Jays. We're in the top of the 5th. Sandy Leon takes the ball. Leon's had a very productive season, batting .350. Walked and scored a run in the 2nd. Brock Holt may have injured himself. He was leaning, breaking towards second, and now he's waving off the training staff.
Watch him try and time up Joe Biagini, and he fires over there. And he gets back. It looked like his shoulder got jammed down into the ground right there. Watch the tag. And then the shoulder just gives a little bit. Says he's okay. And you can see him grimace and hold that shoulder.
Yeah, he was in a very vulnerable position with that arm fully extended, and then Edwin puts the tag on him and hits him right on that shoulder joint. And it may have hyperextended that shoulder for a moment, and you can see he's feeling the impact of that tag. Blue Jays are looking at their video just in case they want to review that play, and they are. They're going to take a look at it. It didn't look like he was picked off. It looked like he got his hand on the bag, and I think that's the reason his shoulder came out maybe just slightly out of joint, because he was on the bag when Edwin tagged him.
And he pushed down on it.
Well, maybe he wasn't. That bag pushed up, but look after the fact, after Edwin tagged him.
That's going to be very interesting.
This replay review is powered by Samsung.
One more time. Watch the bag. If it moves, there's the tag.
And now the bag's going to move.
And there's the bag, him getting back. That is a split second before.
Yep, it sure is. Be interesting to see if they interpret that the same way we have, but it looked like he was definitely tagged before he got his hand on the base.
We had another shot from high first. That might be a little bit more definitive. Brock Holt gets back. There's the tag, and they've got their answer.
Wow. They call him safe, but it certainly appeared as though he did not make contact with the base until after the tag was applied to his shoulder. So the review is upheld by New York. 2 outs, a 1-1 count on Sandy Leon. 2-1 now.
Holt can run at first base. He's already had one stolen base this afternoon.
That was his fourth
of the season. Got that.
That ball gets away, and it's going to go over up against the wall, and Holt is headed for third. He'll get there on the air by Biagini. He made that throw into the base runner, and it got past Holt and went up against the wall.
Not a real big lead right there from Holt, so he wasn't going to go anywhere, but the throw is offline. And the Blue Jays give up 2 more bases on the wild throw. Right between his legs, and he can take off now. See, he put his left hand down. He didn't reach with his right hand. He might come out of this ball game because he's playing left field. He can't throw.
Leon goes after that high pitch. Yeah, that was a good pickup. It looked like he was protecting his right shoulder when he reached for that base with his left hand. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Hit in the air, and that's going to slice into the seats, out of play. Feels like the 10th inning.
Doesn't it? Top of the 5th. Back and forth we go.
We'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Joe Biagini working with the tying run at third. So you wanted to play in meaningful games in September. You got what you wished for.
Hey, this is great, isn't it? I mean, all on the line. You got the American League East. Blue Jays have a chance to tie Boston today.
Hit him. Well, they're really fortunate that they hit Sandy Leon, because it looked like that was going to go all the way back to the screen.
That cutter, that's been a good pitch for Biagini this year. Throws it just a little bit too hard, trying to get the out. Reaches back for a little something extra, and when you do that, you're going to miss your spot, and that looked like it hit him right in the shin or on that shin guard. So we will have another pitching change.
So Joe Biagini will come out of this ball game. He has recorded 2 outs, giving up a home run. Blue Jays still have the lead. It's 8-7. Aaron Loop will come in to pitch to Jackie Bradley. He faced him Friday night. Bradley grounded into a double play.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Ridgeline. A lot of things have changed, but one thing hasn't. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Proud fan since 1977.
Gonna need lots of extra popcorn this afternoon. This one's a long way from being decided. Aaron Loup got 2 outs on 1 pitch, a double play ground ball he threw to Jackie Bradley Jr. Friday night. That was the only batter he faced, and Loup has had the upper hand against the Red Sox center fielder. Bradley Jr. is 0 for 6 against Aaron Loup.
Just 2/3 of an inning the other day on Friday. This is another big situation here. Here come the Red Sox again with 2 outs and nobody on, and they've got a couple of runners on again.
First and third. Jackie Bradley Jr. has homered and singled. Good pitch right on the inside corner. Joe Biagini recorded 2 outs, give up a home run.
Hey,
there's the steal of home, and Russell Martin puts the tag out in. Brock Holt took a gamble. Aaron Loup threw a strike just off the plate to Russell Martin, and the veteran Martin tagged out Holt to end the inning.
never take your eye off the field right there. What a heads-up play by Loup, executed perfectly. Didn't panic, just step off. Here comes Holt. Comes set, step off, throw a strike, and the inning is over.
We've had a little bit of everything, folks. Don't go away. There's more to come. Thing in this ball game. Aaron Loup comes in to face Jackie Bradley Jr. with Brock Holt at third.
Doesn't have to throw a pitch because they execute this try to steal of home. Aaron Loup calmly steps off, throws a strike to Russell Martin as he looks back over at the bench going like, what are you trying to do to me here? But Russell caught that ball. He was actually into the runner, which was nice for him, where he can just catch it and drop to his knees and block off Brock Holt at home plate.
You know, when you grow up playing baseball, you're always taught, boy, if anybody ever steals, just throw it outside, especially with a left-handed batter. That worked perfectly as Loup stepped off, calmly threw a perfect throw to Russell Martin to tag out Brock Holt to end the inning. New pitcher for Boston is Noe Ramirez, making his 12th appearance of the season.
He's made the opening day roster this year, but then he was sent down 6 times by the Boston Red Sox. Back and forth the shuttle. When they needed a fresh arm, they would go down and get Noe Ramirez. He's got a good arm, good fastball and a good slider, and he's had success against the Blue Jays in his young career.
Ball and a strike to Russell Martin. It was an interesting glare from Martin as he appeared to be looking back over to Red Sox dugout after tagging out Holt to end the inning. Rick Porcello and Brian Butterfield exchanging thoughts about this ball game.
Boy, this has become an instant classic already, hasn't it? We have seen just about everything.
Grand slam, 3-run homers, solo home runs. They've hit home runs for the cycle. Solo, 2-run, 3-run, and grand slam in this game.
We've seen some errors. We've seen some great plays.
Drive the Game is brought to you by the all-new Civic 2016 North American Car of the Year.
And now we're going to see the grand slam. Let's go back to Troy Tulowitzki's at-bat in the 3rd inning after Clay Buchholz walked, the bases loaded, then walked in a run. First pitch swinging. See you later. Home run number 23 for Tulowitzki. He sent this place in a frenzy with that grand slam home run this afternoon's drive of the game.
One of 5 home runs hit in this ball game. Home runs and walks, that's been the theme of this game. It's a nasty slider. Late breaking slider for a strike. Noe Ramirez is 26 years old. Tulowitzki's going to drop this one down the right field line. Tulowitzki is 3 for 3. John Farrell not wasting any time. Robbie Ross Jr., the lefty, is loose down in the Red Sox bullpen, and this is going to be a shuttle. The bullpens are going to be called upon often for the rest of this ball game. Lefty Ross in to face Saunders when we come back. Expanded rosters in September. Both managers have a full complement of relief pitchers, so Robbie Ross Jr. will come on quickly after Noe Ramirez records just 1 out here in the 5th. Ross is in to face Michael Saunders, and there might have been a little bit of motivation from John Farrell to make this move as quickly as he did.
Yeah, trying to get John Gibbons to get Melvin Upton into the game, but that's not going to happen. They're going to send Michael Saunders up there. Robbie Ross has had 3 straight scoreless appearances for the Red Sox. Bring him in here to face the left-hander. All that John Gibbons has to do is look down on his card and see that Michael Saunders has hit 8 home runs off of left-handed pitching this year. So it's too early to make a move to your bench.
We're in the 5th. Breaking ball inside, and James Hoy said that Saunders went around, tried to check his swing. Saunders has 8 at-bats against Robbie Ross Jr. He has 2 hits. A .250 average. But Michaels held his own against the lefties this season. What a ball game. 8-7, and we're in the bottom of the 5th. There's strike 2. Tough pitch down and away.
Ross is tough on lefties. Got a little heavy sinking fastball and a little quick slider. There's Joe Kelly, another power arm out of the bullpen for the Red Sox, starting to get loose. That might be for the top of the lineup.
Upstairs. 2-2. Robbie Ross has held left-handed hitters to 164 average. He's not given up a home run to a left-handed swinger. He went around. That slider gets him as Ross strikes out Saunders. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
That's that tight little slider that he has. It fools Michael Saunders. You got Ross to face Pilar, and then if he loses him, Goins, and then that will probably be it. They'll go back to the bullpen.
Joe Kelly should be ready by now.
Kevin has had big numbers against Robbie Ross in his career.
He is 4 for 7. That's a .571 average. Pops this one up. Ramirez into foul territory. That'll end the inning. Robbie Ross comes out of the bullpen and retires the 2 batters to end the 5th. We'll go to the 6th. It's an 8-7 Blue Jays lead. Ahead, brought to you by WestJet. After this game this afternoon, Tampa Bay will be in town. Monday and Tuesday are night games. Wednesday is a 12:37 start, and then the Blue Jays will head out west to take on the Angels for a 4-game series in Anaheim before they head up to Seattle. Meet the Mariners for 3 straight. An off day on the 22nd, and then the New York Yankees, a 4-game series Friday through Monday right here at Rogers Center.
A little wrap around it. You like this game today? Well, you got 3 more coming up with Tampa Bay coming to town tomorrow.
Aaron Loup was brought in to face Jackie Bradley Jr. in the 5th. Brock Holt attempted to steal home, and he was tagged out by Russell Martin, so Bradley will lead things off here, and he fouled that one right off his leg.
And that will probably be Aaron's only batter that he will face. He was brought in to face Jackie Bradley. did not have to retire him as they got the runner at the plate. So now he gets to face him here to lead off the 6th inning, and probably the only batter he'll face because you got the whole host of righties coming up. Pedroia, Bogaerts after him.
Good breaking ball. That started near Bradley's shoulder and broke in for a strike. 1-2. Bo Schultz is on the left. Joaquin Benoit on the right. A couple of right-handers loosening up. Luke strikes out Jackie Bradley Jr. And that's going to be it. John Gibbons already out of the dugout. I'm going to make the call.
Which one? He signaled right-hander.
Yeah, he's got 2 of them down there, man. I would think it would be Bo Schultz. Benoit just got up. Schultz was up earlier, but Aaron Luke does his job. He was brought in to face Jackie Bradley Jr. He got an out. He got an extra out when Brock was tagged out. Bo Schultz will come in with 1 out to face the top of the order. To the ball game with 1 out. He'll face the top of the order, Pedroia and Bogaerts. His 13th appearance of the season.
And there his number 12 games for Bo Schultz. He's got a good arm, and John Gibbons comes in here. He's got right-handed power in Bo Schultz to face 2 very good right-handed hitters in Pedroia and Bogaerts. Schultz fastball, slider, and he's been working on a split finger pitch.
First pitch to Pedroia is up and away for a ball. Pedroia doubled in the 4th. You can see John Gibbons and DeMarlo Hale talking about their options as they look at the Red Sox lineup.
This might be a case where it's, hey, air it out for 2 batters.
Pedroia hits it up the middle. Another base hit for Pedroia. He's 2 for 4.
The way this thing is going right now, you got a right-handed pitcher with some pop in his arm, some power. You got 2 batters, and they might bring in Benoit to face Ortiz. A little bit more experience with Joaquin. That's why he is still throwing.
And he's got weapons to neutralize a left-handed bat. He throws that splitter very well. Xander Bogaerts tied up the ball game in the 4th with a 2-out, 2-run single to center. That came off Sanchez, the last batter that Aaron would face. Bounces this ball through the right side into right field. Pedroia stops at second. So Bo Schultz gives up back-to-back base hits.
Yeah, that's going to be it. That's exactly what happened. You got 2 batters. Give me everything you got. Well, he's given up 2 base hits, and now he's got to go to Benoit. It's only the 6th inning.
Benoit will be the 5th reliever to work for the Blue Jays. Bo Schultz gives up a couple of singles. David Ortiz will bat with 2 aboard and 1 out. Joaquin Benoit coming on. '39-year-old relievers into the ball game, and we thought we'd show you this interesting number from Benoit. Scoreless outings to start a Blue Jays career, and he has the record 18 consecutive scoreless outings since he's joined the Blue Jays. That's the franchise record. Victor Cruz, a youngster, did it in '78. B.J. Ryan signed as a free agent. He got off to a great start, and then Tom Henke. But now it's Benoit into the ball game with runners at first and second. 2 outs. 1 out, excuse me. David Ortiz, the batter. Ortiz has 22 at-bats against Benoit, so he knows him well. He has 6 hits.
You were talking about weapons coming in. He's got a great splitter, and that's why you have him in there to face Ortiz, hoping to get that ball on the ground.
Benoit has held lefty batters to a .227 average. Ortiz makes a mighty cut. This is imperative. Benoit makes sure he has Tulowitzki in his thoughts should there be a comebacker to the mound. Tulowitzki playing nearly behind the bag at second. Pedroia's at second. Bogart's at first. Swinging a drive deep to right. Bautista looking up. This ball is gone. David Ortiz with his 41st home run here at Rogers Center has given the Red Sox the lead.
And we talked about that earlier today. He's the leader in home runs here in this ballpark. More home runs, more doubles, more RBIs, more extra base hits than any visiting player in Rogers Center history. And he shows you why right there. That looked like a splitter that stayed over the middle of the plate, and he just lifts it out of here.
His 61st career home run against the Blue Jays, and for the season, home run number 32, a 3-run homer. Ortiz has given the Red Sox a 10-8 lead. Mookie Betts. He goes after the first pitch and rips it down the left field line, just foul.
One more time. We've seen this enough in our career. They tried to get that ball away to make Ortiz reach for it. You can see Russell move out to the outside part of the plate, but then have to reach back on the inner half, and he knocks it out of here. Gives him the lead.
For Ortiz, that's his first career home run against Joaquin Benoit. Comes in his 23rd career at bat. 0-1 to Mookie Betts. Pops it up into shallow center. Tulowitzki calls for it and makes the catch. 2 away. Bo Schultz will be charged with 2 runs. Pedroia and Bogaerts both singled off Bo Schultz. Ortiz, a home run that snaps Benoit's consecutive appearance streak without allowing a run. It stopped at 18. Andy Ramirez homered his last time up. Six home runs in the ball game, 3 apiece.
What a heavyweight fight this has been today, and it's not over.
That's going to be into the seats, out of play. Emotions up and down on both sides of the field all day long. Red Sox jumped out to a 4-1 lead. The Blue Jays took the lead with 5 runs in the 3rd. Barry Buchholz and Aaron Sanchez both out of the ball game early, the 2 starters. Splitter in the dirt. He wouldn't chase. It's 1-2.
Boy, he's come up with some hits. Don Gibbons was saying this guy means so much to the Boston Red Sox in the middle of that lineup that he shows it again here in the 6th.
Stop the plate. We had mentioned that the Ortiz home run was the first home run he had hit off Benoit, but he had had a postseason home run, a Grand Slam home run in the 2013 ALCS Tigers against the Red Sox. That tied it up at 5-5. Full count to Hanley Ramirez. It's going to be over the dugout.
That home run also breaks a tie with Jimmy Fox for most home runs in Major League Baseball history for Ortiz. It's 535 now, 1 behind Mickey Mantle. I mean, you're starting to talk about some of the greats in the game that Ortiz is catching and passing.
Ramirez strikes out. That ends the inning. But David Ortiz hits a 3-run home run in the top of the 6th to give Boston a 10-8 lead. The splitter down, and Ortiz hits his 41st career home run here at Rogers Center. 8 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be 9-1 for the Blue Jays. Ryan Goins has struck out twice so far this afternoon. Then back to the top of the order, Devin Travis and Josh Donaldson.
We might see the same scenario, Buck, that we saw in the top of the inning. The lefty faced the left-handed batter, one guy, and right back to that bullpen with the big righties coming up for the Blue Jays.
Both managers playing matchup as they go hitter for hitter, literally, at this point in this ball game. 18 runs on 15 hits.
Counting outs, that's what they're looking for. Outs, and how do I have my best options? What are my best options to get outs?
Well, John Gibbons is thinking about Grilli and Osuna, how he can get to them, and John Farrell's thinking about how he can get to Craig Kimbrell. 3-0 to start the inning. October baseball in September. There's a strike. The veteran Brad Ziegler appears to be ready. He's just standing by watching. Full count.
I once thought he had a walk, but that ball was low and away. Now he's got to regroup.
Three and 2. Ross knows that Ziegler's coming in behind him. Fastball, 95 in a good spot. Flare, that's going to drop for a base hit. Ryan Goins gets things started with a single to center.
What he did all year last year in the second half against that lefties. He was a tough out, and he starts the 6th with a base hit off the lefty.
Right on cue. Here comes the manager, John Farrell. He's already made the call. The sidearmer Brad Ziegler will come in to face the top of the order.
TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. The submariner Brad Ziegler comes on. This will be his 59th appearance. He started the season with the Diamondbacks, and here he is playing a big role in the Red Sox bullpen.
Veteran's done it before. He's been a closer earlier in his career. He's 3-6 with a very good earned run average of 244. He hasn't allowed an earned run in 10 consecutive appearances. He did pitch in the first game in this series and gave up an unearned run thanks to an error. And he's got the right-handers at the top of the lineup for the Blue Jays.
Devin Travis has gone 0 for 3 so far. Cuts on the first pitch and fouls it off.
One of the reasons you bring him in here is he has a tendency to throw a lot of ground balls. He's had 13 ground ball double plays this year. That's a high number for a reliever.
Nobody out. On the ground. Bogart shovels to Pedroia. Easy double play as Travis bounces into the 6-4-3 double play.
The all-new 2017 Ridgeline, our newest vehicle and their newest fan. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
First double play of the afternoon turned by the Red Sox here. 2 outs for Josh Donaldson. Josh has walked twice. He's come around to score both times he's walked. He's 0 for 1. Ziegler had 18 saves with the Diamondbacks before the trade. He has picked up 3 with Boston. He's got 21 on the season. Another ground ball. Big hop for Bogarts. He boots it. Oh, what a break for the Blue Jays. A routine ground ball. It hit Bogarts right in the glove. He commits his 12th error of the season, and that brings Edwin Encarnación to the plate representing the tying run.
He's already had 3 hits, a couple of home runs, a little careless on this ground ball. Bogarts had 11 errors coming into this game, as you see it pop out of his glove, but 7 of those errors happened in a 24-game span. Between June the 12th and July the 9th, he had 7 errors, so he has played great shortstop for the Red Sox. A little careless that time, and it gives the Blue Jays a chance.
Edwin Encarnación 3 for 3 with 2 home runs. He homered in the first, hit a 2-run homer in the fourth. In between, he had a single and scored in the third. Encarnación is 1 for 3 against Ziegler. Ziegler has allowed 2 home runs this season. Ryan Shrimp of the Padres and Miguel Cabrera. Slider for the strikeout. So the air doesn't factor in. The Blue Jays leave a base runner. We'll head to the 7th. Boston with a 2-run lead.
Sports. The Sportsnet app lets you stay up to date with the latest scores, breaking news, game highlights, and analysis of Canada's team. Plus, never miss a single pitch with our in-depth live game tracker. Available on iOS and Android devices. Bye.
Thank you, Hazel. What a ball game. Boston leads it 10-8. And there's been just about everything you can imagine in a baseball game. Now the new pitcher will be Danny Barnes, making his 7th appearance.
And lots of pitchers. This is the 6th reliever for the Blue Jays this afternoon. Danny Barnes worked here a couple of innings on Friday night against the Red Sox, so he knows all about them. It's been a nice addition to the bullpen since they brought him up from the minor leagues.
Travis Shaw takes a shot with the bunt. Danny Barnes has thrown strikes. He's got a very good fastball, not really hard, but very effective, and locates the slider very well.
You know what he can do with that fastball? He can hit the corners, and he can also elevate it.
Quickly ahead of Travis Shaw, 1-2.
You know, when you elevate that fastball, then you can drop. He's got a great changeup, and the hitters just don't know a whole lot about him just yet, so you can use that in certain situations. There it is.
High fly ball to left. Michael Saunders waiting for it, and Shaw's retired. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. That is in remembrance of 9/11, as both teams are wearing the patches, the hats with both flags on them. And of course, a lot of the people here acknowledging 9/11. Brock Holt, he's had an interesting day. He walked and scored, had a stolen base in the 2nd. He was retired in the 3rd on a nice play by Edwin Encarnación. Then he walked in the 5th, got tagged out at first base. It was reviewed. He was called safe. They reviewed it, but he hurt his shoulder in that. And then he was out trying to steal home in the 5th inning, and now he takes another walk. He has walked 3 times.
Did you mention that he had a shoulder problem when he went back, diving back to first base?
That was in the 5th inning.
Thought he might leave the game after that. Didn't look like he was going to be able to throw.
Then he went first to 3rd on the throwing error. Joe Biagini on a pickoff threw it away, and Holt ended up at 3rd. So he's had a very interesting afternoon. Sandy Leon batting with 1 out. Shortens up the bunt and takes ball 1.
Who says you have to get a hit to have an interesting afternoon?
He is 0 for 1 with 3 walks.
But he's been involved in some big plays. He was out at 3rd base on that stolen base attempt, but the ball was dropped. He later scored.
There goes the runner, and his pass Encarnación into right. Brock Holt with an aggressive lead. They're waving him home. Bautista doesn't know where to throw it, and Brock Holt scores from first. Brock Holt never hesitated, and Brian Butterfield, the 3rd base coach, came all the way down the line. Holt picked him up, saw the wave to come home, and he motored around 3rd and scores without a throw.
That is being prepared for as a 3rd base coach. Brian Butterfield, he knew that ball down the line, that he was going to send that runner. They took off. It was a hit and run. Watch Brock Holt take off. The ball is hit to right field. Now he's going to go to 3rd. Look at Brian Butterfield get down the line, judge what Bautista's doing with the ball. And by the time he runs it down and gets it back into the infield, here's the play. Hits it up with the bare hand and just Lobs it back into second base, and the run scores. Heads up play by the third base coach.
RBI for Leon. A 3-run lead for Boston. 1 out for Jackie Bradley Jr. He takes a strike. So Brock Holt has walked 3 times and he's scored 2 runs.
Good pick. On a pick by Martin to keep that runner at second base. Just 1 out.
There have been 11 walks in this ball game.
How many of them have come around to score?
7. Jackie Bradley Jr. strikes out for a second time.
Yeah, getting him on with the walk is pretty good, but then being able to bring him around to score is even more impressive. Holt walks, and of course he scores on the double.
Dustin Pedroia is 2 for 4 this afternoon. Takes the first pitch strike. Not that familiar with Hanny Barnes.
They moved him into the leadoff spot in this batting order, and his batting average is taken off. He came into this game hitting .447 as a leadoff batter. They moved him at the beginning of August, and he has really ignited this team.
When he doubled in the 4th, he extended his personal hit streak to 29 games against the Blue Jays. He's also now reached in 36 straight games against the Jays. Reached base 36 games in a row against the Blue Jays. 0-2, 2 outs. Leon's at second. Outside. The Red Sox have scored in every inning but the 3rd. Pedroia, with 2 hits this afternoon, has raised his batting average to .230. He's closing in on Jose Altuve. .330.
How about that? 552 at bats.
Altuve batting .339. He leads the league. Pedroia now hitting .330 with a 2 for 4 afternoon. Altuve will play later on tonight in Houston, the Sunday night game against the Cubs. Jake Arrieta going to the mound against Mike Fiers. That's a 8 o'clock Eastern time start. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Red Sox have scored a run here in their half of the 7th. Pedroia hits a fly ball to left. Long run for Saunders. He's going to get there and makes the catch. The inning is over, but Boston adds to their lead. Jose Bautista will lead things off for the Blue Jays, followed by Russell Martin and then Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo is 3 for 3 with a grand slam this afternoon. Well, a great ball game going back and forth all afternoon, and right now the Blue Jays are down by 3. They'll send up Jose Bautista to lead things off. Jose has walked twice and scored. He is officially 0 for 1. He lined out sharply in the 4th to the left fielder. Brad Ziegler came in with a man aboard in the 6th and nobody out, got a double play. And then after an error by Bogarts to the shortstop, he struck out Encarnación to end the 6th.
The veteran seems to have calmed things down for a little bit here for the Boston Red Sox. He doesn't throw that hard. He says, I'm more about command, control, and changing speeds. And right now, he's using his changeup and his slider effectively versus the Blue Jays.
It's a very different look from the sidearm delivery. Bautista swings and foul tips it into the glove of the catcher, 1 away. So hitters now trying to find the release point from Brad Ziegler.
You see why he's been a pretty successful closer in his career. Gives you different looks.
Russell Martin has struck out twice and walked with the bases loaded. That came in the 3rd inning when the Blue Jays scored 5. He walked, and then right behind him, Troy Tulowitzki hit a grand slam and gave the Blue Jays a 6-4 lead.
Need some base runners right here. Jose Bautista still upset about that strike 2 call on him right before he struck out. Thought the ball was low.
Also fouls it off. It's 1-2. Big sweeping slider, and Martin strikes out. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Ziegler.
Save during the plumbing, heating, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Troy Tulowitzki's had a big day with the bat. 2 singles and a grand slam home run. Two and one now. Inside, it's 3-1. Jason Grilli, the right-hander, Matt Dermody, the left-hander, loosening up for the Blue Jays. Tulowitzki takes ball 4, 2-out walk.
It's going to be interesting here. Ziegler's been really good, but he walks Tulowitzki and the lefties coming up, and John Farrell's going to take him out of the ball game.
Boy, Ziegler did a good job. He got a double play, has 3 strikeouts. He walks Tulowitzki, and Farrell has made the call to the bullpen. So Ziegler is out. The lefty Fernando Abad is coming on to face Michael Saunders when we come back, and looks like they're going to send up B.J. Upton, Melvin as we know him now. pitcher into the ball game will be the left-hander Fernando Abad. He came over to Boston from Minnesota. This will be his 54th appearance of the season.
Red Sox wanted another left-hander in that bullpen to complement Robbie Ross Jr. Fernando Abad, 53 games between Minnesota and Boston. Bad record, good ERA. 1-6 with a .330 earned run average. Lots of breaking balls. We're going to see a lot of breaking balls from Abad. And that could mean Melvin Upton can catch one out in front.
So Melvin Upton Jr. will bat here with 2 outs and a man aboard. Pitch hitting for Michael Saunders. Of course, Upton had the 2-run home run in yesterday's game. And put the Blue Jays out in front. He finished up the ball game 1-for-3 with a walk. Upton is 2-for-2 against Abad with a home run.
Outfield deep for Melvin Upton. There's that breaking ball. You're going to get plenty of those from Fernando Abad. 6 of his last 7 appearances have been scoreless as John Farrell uses him basically for an out here or an out there. Lefty specialist.
Ground ball. Booted by Shaw. Long throw. Booted by Ramirez. Upton's aboard. Shaw knocked it down, recovered, and then made a low throw that Hanley Ramirez couldn't dig out of the dirt. So Upton's aboard, and that will get the tying run to the plate. And now John Farrell is back out of the dugout.
That's got to be Matt Barnes, who's the big hard throwing righty. Here's Abad just facing the one batter. Upton hits this ball down the line. 15 errors for Shaw at third base. He knocks it down. It looked like he had time to get that runner if the throw was good or if it was dug out of the dirt by Ramirez. But he's safe, and just like that, the tying runner will come to the plate.
Matt Barnes coming on to face Kevin Pillar. Pillar represents the tying run. New pitcher for Boston. This is big Matt Barnes making his 55th appearance, and he is a hard thrower.
One of those appearances was yesterday when he followed up Eduardo Rodriguez with an inning, gave him a couple of hits and struck out a batter. One of the first-round draft picks, got a big arm. They moved him into the bullpen. And the Blue Jays threatening again here in the 7th inning.
Troy Tulowitzki walked. Upton reached on the air by the third baseman. Pillar had a base hit against Barnes in yesterday's game. Single to left. 2 outs. First pitch breaking ball.
Not happy with that one. Thought that one was high.
Kevin is 0 for 3 so far this afternoon. Ground ball. Bogarts will go to second, and that'll do it. Barnes comes out of the bullpen to shut out the Blue Jays rally in the 7th. Will go to the 8th. Boston leads at 11-8. Runners at first and second and 2 outs, and Kevin Pillar has this pitch called a strike. Looked like a high breaking ball. Marvin Hudson, the umpire, called it a strike, and Pillar had an extended discussion with Marvin Hudson, and then after the inning, Pillar still questioning whether or not that was a strike, and Marvin Hudson shaking his head. Nope, it was a strike. So the inning is over. The Blue Jays strand a pair of base runners, and we are in the 8th inning now.
Jose Bautista getting in there to send him out into the outfield. Boy, this has been back and forth and back and forth. Emotions running high. Your emotions are high, they're low. It's a lot like that game in New York against the Yankees, that the Blue Jays came back and barely lost by a run. A lot of motion in that game too.
Blue Jays lost that game on Tuesday night 7-6. They were able to come back against Devin Betances and scored 2 runs in the 9th and stranded the bases loaded. Justin Smoke hit the ball up against the wall, caught by Brett Gardner for the final out of the ball game. Changeup inside to Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts and Pedroia, they are always in the middle of a Red Sox rally. Pedroia is 2 for 5. Bogaerts 2 for 4. Bogaerts didn't like that call. He's called out on strikes. David Ortiz in his last at bat against Joaquin Benoit. It's a 3-run home run. It's the difference in this ball game. His 41st career home run hit at Rogers Center.
He has all the big numbers against the Blue Jays as a visiting player here at Rogers Center, and that's why you got to bring in lefties to face him. Danny Barnes is done. Matt Dermody, the rookie, is going to face him when we come back.
Let's go to their bullpen once again. It's Matt Dermody. He'll make his third big league appearance, and he's been called into this game to face David Ortiz. And in his last at bat, Ortiz hit the 3-run home run off of Joaquin Benoit. Ortiz's 32nd home run of the season. And you take a look at the all-time home run leaderboard. Ortiz has broken the tie with Jimmy Fox. He's moved into sole possession of 18th behind Mickey Mantle, just one home run shy of the great Mickey Mantle.
Look at the greats on that list right there. Jimmy Fox, David Ortiz, Mickey Mantle. He belongs with them. 535 career home runs.
Terrific career coming to an end. Dermody jumps ahead with a slider for strike one. Inside, he missed. Dermody pitched in the game Friday night. It's an inning and 2/3, charged with 2 runs on 2 hits.
Well, that's one thing he's got. We've seen him now for 3 games. He's got a pretty tight slider.
He struck out Ortiz in the 9th inning in that game Friday. Strikes him out again. Another good slider from Dermody.
That's tight, and if you don't have a lot of information, as the fans are saying goodbye to David Ortiz, anticipating his final at bat here at Rogers Center.
Very classy. David Ortiz deserves all the attention he has gotten. Mookie Betts, the right fielder, started the scoring this afternoon with an RBI double in the first. He knocked in David Ortiz. It seems like a long time ago.
It is. David Ortiz strikes out against Dermody, and the fans recognizing that it's possibly his last at bat here in an illustrious career.
And he acknowledges their salute.
And wouldn't you know it, this guy's had the biggest hit of the game. In a game full of big hits, it's David Ortiz who's had the biggest one.
3-run home run, difference in the game. 2-2 now to Mookie Betts. Swing and a miss. Martin will throw to first to complete the strikeout. That Dermody strikes out Ortiz and Betts. Blue Jays are down by 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. crowd here on hand at Rogers Center. It's been a terrific ball game, back and forth all afternoon. The Red Sox hit that big home run from David Ortiz in the 6th, and the Blue Jay fans trying to rally the home team as they trail by 3. And the Blue Jays will face a new pitcher.
If they're going to rally, as the fans are getting fired up once again, they're going to have to do it against the veteran Koji Uehara. He spent about a month and a half on the disabled list with a pectoral strain in his right arm, right side, and you can see he's done a great job. 41 games for Uehara. He was a closer at one time. He's just reinstated from the DL on the 5th of this month, about a week ago, and he has now taken over the 8th inning for Boston.
He's the 7th relief pitcher to work for the Red Sox this afternoon. Clay Buchholz started. He went just 3 innings and he was out of the game. Owens rips it down the right side, but it hooks foul.
Uehara is a lot different. Hey, nice play. You better make a nice play with that size of a glove. I could have used that glove when I was playing. But Uehara, a little bit different than some of the arms that we have seen out of the bullpen. Power arm from everybody else. His is more about finesse and control and use that great splitter.
Ryan Goins had a leadoff single in the 6th. He was erased on a double play by Devin Travis. Bounced way out in front of home. Needless to say, the Blue Jays need some base runners. They trail by 3. Koji Uehara making his 20th appearance here at Rogers Center. He's pitched a total of 19 innings. He's held the Blue Jays to a 164 batting average in this ballpark. There's that good splitter, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, you get a pitch down low against Uehara, you might want to just let it go, because that thing is just spinning and dropping. See how he takes that ball and just flips it in there. That's a ball that's out of the strike zone. He wants you to go after that pitch. First out here in the 8th.
Devin Travis has been the DH this afternoon. He is 0 for 4 with a strikeout. 7-game hit streak on the line. Takes a ball. Ooh, strike. Late call by the umpire Marvin Hudson. 0-1. Ground ball. Bogarts to the backhand. Throws quickly. Way offline. And Travis is aboard.
Well, he just couldn't get anything on that throw at all. I don't know if he got a good grip on that ball. He is shading Travis up the middle, and Devin pulls it into the hole. Backhanded by Bogarts. Watch the throw over there. He threw that like a changeup. He didn't have a good grip on that ball at all.
Well, that's an infield hit for Travis. That extends his hit streak to 8 straight. More importantly, he gets on base with 1 out. Donaldson will bat. Josh has walked twice, came around to score both times. He reached on an error in the 6th. He's 0 for 2. Josh is 0 for his last 22. He'd love to get on base one more time. He's been on base 3 of the 4 times he's come to the plate. Edwin Encarnación is behind him.
Yeah, and bring that tying run to the plate. Edwin's already hit a couple of home runs today. Two pitches that he just misses. Uehara upset with himself. He missed his spot badly.
Yeah, he made 2 mistakes, and Donaldson found them both back. Now this is where you really got to fight not to chase that low pitch.
Make it when you see it down like that, you got to make that ball come up. Kimbrel and Tazawa starting to get loose.
Tazawa's on the left, Kimbrel's on the right. Bounced out in front of home. Grilli and Tepera both appear to be ready. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 11-8 Boston. Donaldson fights to stay alive. Got a piece of that splitter.
This might be a guy that you can move up in the plate a little bit closer to the pitcher. Try and catch that splitter before it drops.
Ground ball. Shaw at third. Second for one. Back to first. Double play. Uehara gets Donaldson to ground into a double play. That ends the bottom of the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. Boston up by 3.
The Blue Jays homestand continues tomorrow when the Tampa Bay Rays pay Rogers Center a visit. It's a 3-game series, and Francisco Liriano will get the start tomorrow. Now, Wednesday's finale will go at 12:37 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. To the 9th and Buck and Pat.
Thank you, Hazel May. And we have made it to the 9th. Ryan Tepera will come on to start the 9th inning. Boston leads it 11-8. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 10-8.
And he is the 9th pitcher for the Blue Jays this afternoon. 12 games for Ryan this year. He's got an 0-1 record. Got a good arm. You can see him grip that ball right there. That's a split change grip that he will use a lot of times for strikeouts.
And Ramirez takes the first pitch. Ramirez homered in the 5th. It was off Joe Biagini. That's going to be out of play. The Ramirez home run made it 8-7 Blue Jays as he hit a home run to dead center.
That came off of Joe Biagini, just the second time that Joe's been touched up for a home run this year. And I guess if you're going to give up home runs, those are the kinds you want to give up. That was a bomb to center.
One and two now as Tepera gets ahead of Ramirez. Sanchez started and went 3 2/3, gave up 6 runs on 5 hits. He walked 4, one off his season high. It's the 3rd time Aaron has walked 4 batters in a game. Ramirez strikes out.
Well, other than that home run, Haley Ramirez has struck out 3 times. That's a good slider right there from Ryan Tepera to get the first out. He's done a good job against lefties this year also. I think that split change has been a big pitch for him.
Travis Shaw, the 3rd baseman, has gone 0 for 4. He's also been charged with an error. Popped up. Encarnación, the first baseman, comes in, makes the grab. 2 away. Well, Boston has a 3-run lead. They leave it 11-8, and there's the closer for Boston, Craig Kimbrell. Kimbrell is loosening up, getting ready. He is 24 for 26 in saves this season. Brock Holt, he's had some day at the plate. That's his first base hit, but he's been on base 4 times. He's scored a pair of runs, has a stolen base, and was caught trying to steal a home in the 5th inning.
He has been busy. He is a pesky little hitter and a tough out. The only time he made an out today was when Edwin Encarnación robbed him of a hit with a great play at first base.
Making a bid for extra bases, and Encarnación made a terrific play. Sandy León, he drove in the last run the Red Sox scored. He had an RBI double in the 7th. Brock Holt was running on the pitch and scored all the way from first base. The ball got under the glove of Encarnación, went down the right field line, and Holt came all the way around to score. Two and one now to the catcher, Sandy León. The Red Sox are wrapping up this long road trip. They went 2-1 in Oakland, 2-1 in San Diego, and they have the lead in this rubber match here against the Blue Jays. They go home to welcome in the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore for 3, the New York Yankees for 4. Then Boston goes out on the road. A 4-game stand in Baltimore against the Orioles and 3 against Tampa Bay. It's another pop-up behind home. Martin will watch it sail over the screen out of play. The Red Sox have a long road trip. Have a 10-game road trip from the 19th to the 29th before the Blue Jays come in to play that final weekend.
That's just like the Blue Jays road trip that they just finished up. All through the American League East and a long one. Looks like it might be one of their longest of the season. Through Baltimore, through Tampa, through New York.
3 and 2, 2 outs. Holt will be off on the pitch. There he goes. Cut on and miss. Tepera strikes out Holt. Strikes out León to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The big bats coming up for the Blue Jays. They are down by 3. They'll face the closer, Craig Kimbrell, when we come back. back at it tomorrow night as the Tampa Bay Rays are in town to take on the Blue Jays. A 3-game series. It all starts tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern time. That's the pregame show with Jamie and Greg. They'll have a 3-game series against Tampa Bay Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. Here's the closer for Boston, Craig Kimbrell.
He's a good one, 24 for 26. One of those blown saves was against the Blue Jays. Righties haven't had a lot of success. 176, 151 for the left-handers. He's third in opponent's batting average, fourth in strikeouts per 9. He's averaging 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. Hard fastball, hard slider from Kimbrell.
Kimbrell was the National League Rookie of the Year with the Atlanta Braves in 2011. He led the National League in saves in his first 4 seasons in the big leagues. He has 24 saves. As Pat mentioned, the Blue Jays have tacked on a blown save to Kimbrell. The other blown save was at Houston against the Astros. He's got the big bats to deal with here in the 9th. Big day for Edwin Encarnación. A 2-home run game. He is 3 for 4. Slider he lays off. Edwin has hit 3 home runs in a game twice in his career. He did it in 2010 at Arizona. Of course, last August 29th right here at Rogers Center, he hit 3 home runs in a game against the Tigers.
And that next home run would give him 40, which would be the 2nd time in his career that he has done that.
Way outside.
Last year he fell 1 home run short of joining that 40 home run club.
Edwin is in his 8th season with the Blue Jays. 234 career home runs as a Jay. Off the plate inside. 3-1. The Blue Jays need base runners. Bautista will be next. Russell Martin's behind him. Full count.
Rally caps are out for the Blue Jays now. It'll help to get that first guy on.
Not close. Ball 4. There's a start. That's the 7th walk the Red Sox have issued this afternoon. There have been 18 pitchers in this game. Each team has used 9.
Plenty of walks. The guy at the plate's had a couple of them. Jose walked his first 2 times up and scored.
First pitch strike. Fastball slider. That's what you'll get from Kimbrell.
And it's got some carry on that fastball too. If it's low, it just stays low and just. If you think you can just lay off of it, it's got some carry to it and just rides right into the strike zone.
Fouled off the catcher's mask once again.
Boy, that's 2 or 3 times today.
And he took a shot that time.
Sandy Leon got that one right in the beak. Fastball. Doesn't even get glove on it.
And him right off the forehead of that mask. Earlier in the game, he took one off the bat of Ryan Goins. Very similar type of foul ball. So Bautista's behind 1-2. Jose is 1 for 5 going up against Craig Kimbrell for his career. Blue Jay fans doing their part. Bautista strikes out, 1 away.
I have to tell you about his ability to ride that fastball. That time that was up and just kept rising. Tough to catch up to that one.
Russell Martin will step in. Russell is 0 for 3. He had a bases loaded walk in the 3rd, and he has struck out 3 times. 96, but outside. Troy Tulowitzki is on deck, and he's had a big day at the plate, including a grand slam home run. Martin hits it high and deep to right. It's got a chance. Get up, ball. Fair ball. Encarnación's headed for 3rd. Russell will stop at 2nd, and the Blue Jays are still in it. Hanley Ramirez wants the Red Sox to look at this. He might contend that it was a foul ball. Tim Leeper is talking to Jim Joyce, and without hesitation, they're going to first have a meeting. Jim Joyce was called over to the home plate umpire, Marvin Hudson. The umpire's now having a conference.
Well, because the play was behind Jim Joyce, they can take a look at this. If it's in front of them, you can't review it. Jim Joyce is going to talk to his guys first, and they're going to call foul ball.
And now John Gibbons has got to come out and get an answer here.
Well, let's see. It's behind him. Going to get help from his mates. Can't really tell from that where it hits, but it looks like it ricochets on that sidewall. It ricochets back.
Gibbons has asked for the umpires to take a look at the replay review. Martin sliced it down the right field line, and it was difficult to tell.
Yeah, just
we get blocked out of the bottom part of that fence by the seats down the right field corner.
That one shot we had looked like the ball hit off the sidewall and then came back. Hanley Ramirez is very emphatic that that was a foul ball. They're showing it on the replay here, and the fans are reacting, saying that that ball was fair. So what was the call? Was it fair?
The call was double.
It was double.
Yeah.
And then they changed it without a review. So if they're looking for concrete evidence, what are they going off of? We can't turn this play over, right?
Right. The umpires had a conference. Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire, appeared to initiate the discussion with the crew chief, Jim Joyce. Joyce was moving down the right field line. That was his call down in the right field corner. He's the first base umpire. We have not seen a definitive angle down in that corner. And that sums it up right there, doesn't it?
Keep your fingers crossed. Russell had the big hit against Kimbrell earlier this year to help them win a ball game. And he's hoping that this one is called fair.
Well, this has been some baseball game. We've had a grand slam home run. Both teams have combined to hit for the home run cycle. We had an attempted steal of home. Brock Holt was tagged out by Russell Martin to end the 5th inning. We had a little bit of everything here this afternoon, and now they call it a foul ball. So Russell Martin will do it again, and now John Gibbons is coming out to get an explanation. Now he's asking Marvin Hudson how he can overturn the call, and that's your point. The umpires overturned it initially after Russell ended up at second. Then Marvin Hudson asked for a conference with Jim Joyce, and they called it a foul ball. And that's when John Gibbons asked for the replay review.
Is he saying, do you see definitive?
This umpiring crew has had a very interesting last 4 games, going back to the foul ball check swing in Cleveland that resulted in a couple of runs scoring.
That's the crew chief, Jimmy Joyce, and you and I were talking with him before the ball game. He says 3 straight days we have had plays where he hasn't been. He's been in the game a long time. He says, I haven't seen those kind of games before, those plays before.
John Gibbons has been ejected from this ball game, his 7th ejection. And it's been that kind of afternoon for both clubs.
I think he was asking, do you see definitive evidence that that ball was foul?
But I think the interesting thing is the umpires changed the initial call after a conference before they asked for a video review. So then, if there's not conclusive evidence in video, the foul ball stands.
That's it. I think that's the explanation he wanted to hear, and he didn't like it.
So Russell Martin with a 1-1 count and 1 out. Now they want to make sure the count is correct. Jim Joyce asking Marvin Hudson. It is a ball and a strike to Martin. 1 out with Encarnación at first. That goes all the way back to the screen. And Pedroia is asking for the appeal on the swing. No swing, says Jim Joyce. What a crazy inning. The Red Sox dugout is livid.
They're saying, how could that not be a swing? You kidding me? Hard slider. Let's see. Check swing by Russell Martin. I've seen.
It looked like he swung at it.
Yeah, I've seen swings like that called strikes before. You can see everybody right on top of it. Take a look. Tell me what you think.
2 balls and his strike. Good cut by Martin. Encarnación now at second base.
Tough to hit right now, too, with the shadows creeping over home plate and the pitcher's mound. That can't be any fun facing Craig Kimbrell.
I think the intensity and adrenaline of this ball game will overcome that. Strike 3 called. Martin called out on that slider. 2 away.
Jays thought they had second and third, 1 out. And Kimbrell comes back with a big strikeout.
Troy Tulowitzki has been on base all 4 times he's come to the plate. 3 for 3 with a grand slam home run. Hits this ball to right. Mookie Betts has got room, and that's the ball game. Craig Kimbrell picks up his 25th save as the Red Sox win the series 2-1, and what a ball game this was in the finale.
We saw a little bit of everything in this one. 23 strikeouts, 13 walks. You had 19 runs scored, 19 hits. Back and forth, back and forth. This is what it's all about. Red Sox end up winning the game, and wouldn't you know it, David Ortiz was the guy with the big hit.
David Ortiz homered off Joaquin Benoit in the 6th, his 41st career home run here at Rogers Center, and that'll be his final game of his regular season career here at Rogers Center. Let's see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Boston takes the series. Here's Jamie and Greg in Blue Jays Central.